switched chairman, so Franklin's the chairman.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. Do you want me to sit up there then?
Yeah, if you'd like.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I just wanted to say hi and intrude on your time a little bit to tell you I'm here and I'm working on a lot of things and excited to be here. So,
We're excited to have you here.
Good. Well, then, I think we're both in good shape. I'm doing some catching up on some of the files, and I'm not ready today, but I would maybe ask to put me on the agenda for next week to give you the overview of where things are with the Sheriff's Department case. I did visit this morning with opposing counsel Jane Mercer, and I just because there was no settlement agreement that's being drafted. There always should be anytime you settle a civil case. So I contacted her and said, "Who's drafting this?" And she unvolunteered for it, so I think I'll be drafting it. So I'll be going through probably what would be the best video to nail down the details of the agreement, because I think that's probably the best thing. What was discussed and agreed at that meeting, unless there is is there any kind of a written resolution or anything? Okay. Do you know which day would be the best video from your meeting?
22nd, and probably part 3 and 4.
22nd of December?
Yes.
Part 3 and 4, is that afternoon?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So as I understand it, the judge vacated the hearing that was set for January 16th. That was the hearing at which the county either had to redo the budget and other things, or show cause why not. So with that being vacated, I believe that the county can proceed with some of the things we're talking about, the 56-cent raise for the non-deputies. And have you already done that? Do you know? Haven't done that?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Maybe what I'll do this before next Monday. Do we need to do it before next Monday, or can I give you I'll go ahead then.
I would think next Monday would work.
Yeah.
No reason to be sooner than that? Okay.
No, I don't
Well, let's
think
do that then. I'll leave
Give
that.
you some time on
I'll leave that, here's what we can do now, and then I'll hope to have a draft settlement document. One thing that I'd like to take a look at is the attorney's fees issue, because I haven't seen there's some documents I need to get from the sheriff's council. They should always have I guess the representation agreement, and that'll talk about a lot of the details of the representation that we should know. And then I'll look at the actual bills that were presented. I think they're in the file, but I'll look at those in detail. So I owe you guys, or you as the commission, the recommendation of here's exactly what we can all do and when to get this thing finalized. But I don't think we're quite there yet. We're on the road, but we're not there yet. And then I'll be visiting with the attorney for the sheriff's office this week, and we'll have, if any weird things come up, I'll try to let you know before the Monday commission hearing, so you're not surprised. The Rocky Acres case, we're going to have a status conference this coming Friday with Judge Reynolds on one of the defendants, and so I'll continue doing what I need to do for that criminal prosecution. I think myself and the sheriff's office probably owe you an update on the financial aspects of it because of the cost of the boarding the horses and all that stuff. So possibly by next Monday, but if it might be another week. But we'll get together and kind of lay out for you all the details of where every horse is, who's got it, how much they're costing, the health of the horse, and kind of if this case can be resolved, either we get a criminal conviction or they plead guilty in say in this month, for example, what we could do to begin reducing the financial cost on these. So I'll ask them to work with me and we'll present something to you
Yeah, that's way overdue.
Now,
It's my understanding that he's got money enough if he can pay his.
the defendant, yeah, if we can track him down, he's doing the worldwide, or the at least American tour right now, but I think if we could get him, then that would be part of the, something we could seek through the court as restitution.
That'd be great.
I noticed on the website there's a public safety committee, which is different than the public safety commission. Does it still exist? And it looked like the county attorney, the sheriff, and I don't know who the third person was they were a member of that. Do you?
Oh,
I don't know any of that.
Okay.
it was a liaison committee and it's defunct. I thought you were talking about the, safety committee for the county, made up of all department heads, just for safety culture.
Overlook. Okay, now, there was one that was called the Public Safety Committee, and I noticed the county attorney was the chair of it, the sheriff was on it, and there was a third person. And I understood that to be something that was in existence before the discussion of the Public Safety Commission that ultimately wasn't approved. So I didn't know if there was, the discussion of committees today made me go, maybe I need to find out if we need to be meeting once a quarter or something. But I'll ask the sheriff, and if it's something that's gone, then we won't worry about it, or maybe we'll revise it, then we can worry about it. Did all of you commissioners receive a letter from the Attorney General? Okay, so the short version is I was in the Department of Justice, and there were two very big cases that kept continuing after January 1st that I was heavily involved in, and the Attorney General kept saying, well, I gotta find a way to have you still help us in some way. Well, lo and behold, the statute says that the Attorney General can direct a county attorney to continue to represent the state. So he availed himself of that option, and I said, okay, but I'm gonna be very busy, so be ready to send some prosecutors down here to help from time to time, and even some civil lawyers if need be, and they said they'd be happy to do that. So these two cases, one is it's a case that I tried a little over a year ago, and it's the state of Montana against the state of Wyoming, dealing with water on the Tongue River down in southeastern Montana. Because it's a case between two states of this nature, it begins in the U.S. Supreme Court. So it began in the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court doesn't go down and try cases, so they appointed a judge called a special master. He was the judge for the case, and it was a very long case. We did it in federal court in Billings, and we've just received the decision at the end of December from that judge. So he basically had a year after the trial, and we did a bunch of briefings and hearings after the trial as well. So now that case will, either state may file an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. And if that's the case, then we'll do briefings in the U.S. Supreme Court this spring. Likely wouldn't see an oral argument till, I'm guessing, October or November. So they've asked me to remain somewhat involved. I'm not responsible for drafting it or arguing the case, but basically assisting and doing some editing. So I'm not worried about a heavy amount of workload. There may be a day when I have to read a 100-page brief, and hopefully I'll do it on a Saturday, but you never know. And then the second issue is, well, with that, they've asked me to be available potentially to go to the oral argument in Washington, D.C. If we do that, that would be October. The county wouldn't have to pay anything, the state would pay for that. The second issue is a water compact negotiated between the state and the Salish Kootenai tribe on the Flathead Reservation up in northwestern Montana, so other end of the state. And that the state reached an agreement with the tribe just this month, or last month in December, and then the legislature, this current session, would have to ratify that agreement. So I was heavily involved in that, and maybe asked to go a couple of times to the legislature in Helena to testify. But again, it would be 2 or 3 days between now and April. I'm not worried about it being a large commitment of time, but it would be something where I would go and basically be appearing on behalf of the state. So anyway, I asked him to copy commissioners so you're aware of it, and I will do my very best to keep it as a minimal impact on my duties as your county attorney. And then I think that's only issues that were on the front burner that I thought I would bring up with you this morning. So, do you have any questions for me?
You need a couple more things, and then you'll be just solid.
Well, there's plenty, there's plenty over there.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, I'm sure you're stepping into quite a.
So-
Faith in you though.
So Monday mornings, are mainly, if I'm allocating my time in a week, my plan is probably after court Fridays, Friday afternoon's probably my time when if I'm doing any research on issues for your Monday meeting, that's probably my best time to do it. Other than being available for either a Monday morning or an afternoon work session, are there other times that I really need to keep in mind when you commissioners may need me to be somewhere?
Those would be the most important ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the county compensation board, you do serve on that.
Saw that.
Yeah, that we meet, just during budget season.
Okay.
That would be about it, I think.
So many times there'll be different things come up that hopefully we can just get you to come over.
Come on
Give
in.
a little advice,
Yes. Yeah, come on in, absolutely, and, we'll get a bigger coffee pot. So we're gonna be doing some rearranging in there, so for the next hour or two, but if you need me, just bang on the door. But other than that, we're off and running.
Good.
I have one last question before you go.
All right.
One of the subjects that got tabled right at the end of the year was an issue that we had with Teamsters Health Insurance.
Okay.
They did an annual audit, and there were some, it started at 116, and they whittled it down to 10,000. There was some misunderstandings on how you calculate how many hours one works, and should they be eligible for health insurance. So there were some emails on this flying around, but at the end of it, Noelle Dworsky, who is the legal advisor for Teamsters, told Carla in an email that she understood that we had a new county attorney coming on and we still had some questions. So they offered us two different settlements. One was 10.7 thousand and the other one was 35.4 thousand. She suggested we go ahead and pay the lesser amount, the 10.7, and then work out our issues. It's either good to go, or we'll come back and try and renegotiate. But the lesser amount was if we just go ahead and continue with Teamsters as the contract states, and that is 100% participation. If we wanted to challenge that, then we needed to pay the higher amount, and then they might consider that. What they're allowing us to do is pay the lower amount, and that buys us some time to refigure what we need to do and how to address this. Do you have any issues with us paying that 10.7 at this time?
Well, first, is there a deadline that, if is there a deadline, they're like, are we already late, was it January 1st?
January 1st.
That is the case?
Yeah.
All right, well, let me look at it. There is a file, there's a Teamsters audit file in there. I haven't even cracked it open yet. Let me go through that
Okay.
and
Let me give
Give
you,
you-
this is just the email from Carla, and you can have this if you want it. I can just forward you that email though, if you don't want all my scribble markings.
yeah, if you want to just send me the
Okay.
email, it'll be fine. Do you know the date on this?
I do, just a couple days ago, and I'll just forward that to you too. I just printed it to bring here and to have the wording.
All right, well, let me look at it, and I'll
Okay.
give you an answer soon, so you're not waiting on me. All right? Well,
Sounds good.
glad to be here.
Thank you
Fine.
very much, and
Thank you.
welcome.
To have you too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Corey.
You're great.
You're welcome.
Glad to see a lot of left-handers around here.
You betcha. We're united.
Okay,
Laura, or
go ahead.
Frank, Roger Halver. On that settlement with the Teamsters, the amount was 35 or 10 and some change. And the conditions with the 35 were what?
The, The way it's stated is, the Teamsters have agreed to the reduction of the audit contributions of $4,655. Reduces the interest to $1,677 and the liquidated damages to $930. The audit costs remain the same at $35.37, which we're obligated to pay per contract. Teamsters would not seek payment of the attorney fees and cost accrued to date. This brings the total outstanding to $10,767.16. This settlement is contingent upon Broadwater County's acknowledging in writing that there will be no further opt-outs effective January 1, 2015.
Define opt-out.
Opt-out is, per our contract, we have to have 100% participation with the health insurance program
Okay.
that we have. We have a couple of people who opted out due to a verbal agreement, and Teamsters is saying it's not part of the contract, we don't honor that.
So Elaine will have to get her insurance through the Teamsters?
Well, we're only part-time, we're not 30 hours a week
Okay,
officially,
okay.
so that it wouldn't include the commission.
Because my experience from doing hundreds of premium audits, you're talking, what, about 10 cents on the dollar? Was it, what was the original
Yeah.
amount?
116 something.
They're being very generous with the 10,000,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the second part of that is if Broadwater County does not agree to these terms, for a total of $35,441,000, you can submit a letter to the Board of Trustees requesting that you are allowed to continue that practice. So for
Okay.
$20,000+, we can request, but we don't have any kind of assurance that they will vacate the contract.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
And the contract is what we're dealing with, because that's the only thing in writing.
I'm extremely familiar with that, yeah. Well, I'll let your county attorney tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But as an experienced auditor, 10 cents on the dollar, if it was mine, I'd jump on it.
Yeah, it sounds pretty
Makes
good.
sense.
Yeah. Thanks, Roger.
The standard is anywhere from 25 to 35 cents on the dollar. I was just concerned because I thought I heard you say that part of the settlement was that you would continue with their insurance.
Ah,
And that's where I was most concerned, because, well, Corey will tell you, they can't put that in a settlement.
sure,
Okay. Thank you.
thanks.
Any other questions or discussion or anything? I got one thing here, since this, I'm here, I see that, I got a glass to make sure I'm the right date here. The 19th is a holiday, and that's a Monday. Can we move that to the Wednesday meeting date? I, actually, a couple months ago, made an appointment, I always tell them, not on a Monday, and so I was set up for Tuesday, which is the 20th.
Of this month?
Yes. So instead of having it on the Tuesday, we may have it on our Wednesday meeting for that date. You see what I
I
mean?
guess, yeah, I do. The problem is that every holiday, they know that we won't be here, but that we'll be here the next day.
But if it's out ahead of time,
Yeah.
people probably remember that more than, I mean, how many think that we're gonna be here the next day? Maybe some do. But I, at that time, didn't have a 15 calendar. I just was like, not on, because the date they gave me was Monday, 19th, you know. And I said, oh, I can't do it on a Monday, so they said, how about the, and that's been set up for 2 months ago, so. I'd like to see if we can have it on. In fact, we can have it in
On the agenda.
I think you need to figure out a couple of things. One is this room available on Wednesday, and two, if there are any outstanding appointments.
Well, we, obviously, got the room.
It's not automatic, not for Wednesdays. So that would be important to figure out if this room is being used on that Wednesday, then I think we need to accommodate the Tuesday.
I'll check with Val on
Sounds good. You need to go downstairs and sign, so your name will appear on the checks and also on the bank statement.
that. Do that at Doug's.
Mhm.
Is there nothing else, we'll stand
And you
adjourned
need to take those down and give them to Tampa.
till 1:30. You have to send that copy, please, send that. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, if you'd like, keep this one, we'll mail it to you each.
Nothing. We really just stayed home this weekend.